You eat garlic or honey separately, but together their effects may be stronger. Research suggests garlic compounds support immunity. So what happens when garlic meets honey? Fresh Fuel Guide is unlocking the perfect synergy between garlic and honey to supercharge your health. Let's dive in. Number 1. Enhancing antimicrobial activity, a combination of two distinct mechanisms. Garlic and honey are both known for their antimicrobial properties. But what makes this combination particularly interesting is that they work through two completely different mechanisms. Let's start with garlic. When you chop or crush it, the enzyme allinase is activated, converting alliin into allicin, a compound that can react with bacterial proteins. Through this process, allicin can disrupt essential enzymes, interfere with energy metabolism, and make it harder for bacteria to grow and survive. Honey, on the other hand, works differently. It contains the enzyme glucose oxidase, which can produce small amounts of hydrogen peroxide, a mild antimicrobial agent. In addition, honey creates an unfavorable environment for bacteria due to its high osmotic pressure, which draws water out of microbial cells, and its low pH, which inhibits their growth. When these two are combined, you get a dual action effect. One component directly targets the structure and function of bacteria, while the other creates conditions that make it difficult for them to survive. Some studies published in the Journal of Applied Microbiology and the Asian Pacific Journal of Tropical Biomedicine have shown that combining garlic and honey may enhance antibacterial activity in laboratory settings compared to using each component alone. This is not a replacement for antibiotics, but it is a measurable biological synergy. In simple terms, you're not just combining two ingredients, you're combining two different biological strategies against bacteria. That said, it's important to stay precise. Most available data come from in vitro studies. The actual effects in the human body depend on dosage, preparation, and individual health conditions. And if you think the benefits stop at antimicrobial activity, the next section will take it further, because this combination may also support the immune system in a more subtle and integrated way. Number 2. Supporting the immune system, regulation, not overstimulation. Many people think boosting immunity means strengthening the immune system. But biology doesn't work that way. The immune system needs to be regulated, not overstimulated. This is where the combination of garlic and honey becomes particularly interesting. Allicin in garlic has been studied for its ability to influence immune cell activity, including macrophages and lymphocytes. Some evidence suggests that compounds in garlic may support immune responses when needed, while also reducing oxidative stress and helping regulate inflammation at an appropriate level. Meanwhile, honey contributes in a complementary way. It provides a matrix rich in polyphenols and natural enzymes, which may help reduce free radical damage, support inflammatory balance, and protect cells from oxidative stress. The key lies in the synergy. Garlic directly affects immune cell activity, while honey supports the surrounding cellular environment through its antioxidant effects. Together, the result is not simply a stronger immune system, but a more balanced, responsive, and efficient one. Some studies published in the Journal of Immunology Research and Nutrients have linked compounds in garlic and honey to improved immune responses and reduced oxidative stress. The effects are not immediate but become meaningful when sustained over time. In practical terms, this is not about making your immune system stronger, it's about helping it respond appropriately without overreacting. This is especially important in a world where chronic inflammation is increasingly common. That said, balance is essential. No single food can fully protect against disease. This combination should be viewed as supportive, not a replacement for medical care. And if you think the benefits stop at immunity, the next section goes deeper, because this combination may also help reduce inflammation and protect cells at a more fundamental level. Number 3. Reducing inflammation and oxidative stress, protecting cells from within. Inflammation is not always harmful. It is a natural response that helps the body deal with injury and infection. But when inflammation becomes chronic, even at low levels, it can become a driving factor behind many health issues. From cardiovascular disease to metabolic disorders. This is where the role of garlic and honey becomes more evident. Allicin and other sulfur-containing compounds in garlic have been studied for their ability to modulate inflammatory pathways, particularly by regulating nitrogen monofluoride kappa B, a key regulator of the inflammatory response. When these signals are better controlled, inflammation becomes more balanced, cellular damage is reduced, and the internal environment becomes more stable. Meanwhile, honey provides a rich source of antioxidants, including flavonoids and phenolic acids. These compounds can help neutralize free radicals, reduce oxidative stress, and support the structural integrity of cells. As oxidative pressure decreases, the burden on the immune system and body tissues is also reduced. The synergy here is straightforward. Garlic influences inflammatory signaling, while honey helps reduce oxidative damage. Two different mechanisms working toward the same goal, protecting cells and maintaining biological balance. Some studies published in Nutrients, Oxidative Medicine and Cellular Longevity have linked compounds in garlic and honey to reduced inflammatory markers and improved antioxidant status. The effects are not immediate, but become meaningful with consistent use over time. In practical terms, you're not just adding ingredients, you're gradually reducing the accumulated burden of inflammation and oxidative stress. That said, balance is essential. Inflammation is still a necessary part of the body's defense system. The goal is not to eliminate it, but to keep it under control. And if you think the benefits stop at cellular protection, the next section goes further, because this combination may also support cardiovascular health and metabolic function. Number 4. Supporting cardiovascular health and metabolism, effects on blood vessels and blood lipids. Cardiovascular health does not depend on a single factor. It is the result of multiple interacting processes: inflammation, oxidative stress, blood lipids, and vascular function. This is where the combination of garlic and honey begins to reveal a more complete picture. Starting with garlic, sulfur-containing compounds, especially allicin, have been studied for their potential to support endothelial function, the inner lining of blood vessels. When the endothelium functions well, blood vessels can dilate more effectively, circulation improves, and pressure on vessel walls decreases. Some studies also suggest that regular garlic consumption may be associated with modest reductions in LDL cholesterol and improved lipid balance. Honey, on the other hand, is more than just a natural source of energy. It contains antioxidant compounds that may help reduce LDL oxidation, a key step in the formation of atherosclerotic plaques. When LDL is less prone to oxidation, the risk of vascular damage decreases, and plaque formation may slow over time. Additionally, when used appropriately, honey can replace refined sugars, indirectly supporting a healthier metabolic environment. The synergy here is clear. Garlic acts directly on blood vessels and lipid profiles, while honey helps reduce oxidative stress and improve the metabolic environment. Two different mechanisms, working toward the same long-term goal of protecting cardiovascular health. Some studies published in Nutrition Reviews and the Journal of Medicinal Food have linked the consumption of garlic and honey to improvements in cardiovascular markers, including blood lipids and oxidative indicators. The effects are not immediate, but they tend to accumulate over time. In simple terms, this is not about instant heart protection, it's about gradually reducing the factors that contribute to damage. However, moderation is still important. Honey is natural, but it is still a source of sugar, and excessive intake may offset the benefits. And as we shift to a more practical aspect, the next section explores how this combination may help relieve cold symptoms and support respiratory health. Number 5. Supporting relief from cold and respiratory symptoms. When people experience a cold or respiratory discomfort, many turn to garlic and honey as a familiar home remedy. But this habit isn't based only on tradition. Several biological mechanisms may help explain why this combination is associated with easing respiratory symptoms. Let's start with garlic. Compounds such as allicin and other sulfur-containing molecules in garlic have been studied for their potential effects on microorganisms and inflammatory responses, two factors often involved in symptoms like nasal congestion, sore throat, or respiratory discomfort. Meanwhile, honey plays a different role. Thanks to its soothing and coating properties, honey may help reduce throat irritation, ease coughing, and make swallowing more comfortable. Several systematic reviews, including those published in BMJ Evidence-Based Medicine, suggest that honey may help reduce cough frequency and severity, particularly in mild upper respiratory infections. The key point lies in the combination. Garlic may influence internal factors, such as microbes and inflammatory pathways, while honey helps soothe external symptoms, such as throat irritation and coughing. Two different approaches, but complementary ones. The result is not an instant cure, but rather support that may help the body feel more comfortable during the natural recovery process, especially in the early days, when symptoms first appear. If you enjoy learning about science-based food combinations like this, consider subscribing so you don't miss what's coming next. But once you understand the potential benefits, the next important question is this: how should you actually use garlic and honey together to maximize the benefits while staying safe? Let's break that down in the ultimate health hack. Garlic and honey are not natural antibiotics in the medical sense. But when used correctly, this combination may create notable biological effects, from supporting immune function and reducing inflammatory responses to soothing respiratory discomfort. The key factor is how you prepare them. Start with fresh garlic. Chop or crush 1 clove. Then let it rest for about 5 to 10 minutes. This short waiting period allows the enzyme allinase to activate and form allicin, the compound linked to many of garlic's biological benefits. Next, combine it with honey. About 1 teaspoon of honey, roughly 7 to 10 grams, is enough. You can mix it directly with the garlic or stir it into warm water. One important rule: avoid very hot water. High temperatures may reduce the activity of beneficial enzymes and compounds in both garlic and honey. In terms of frequency, it's best to use this combination in moderate amounts and with consistency, rather than consuming large quantities at once, especially because honey is still a source of natural sugar. There are also a few safety considerations. If you have a sensitive stomach, start with a small amount. If you are taking blood-thinning medication, be cautious with garlic intake. Children under 1 year old should never consume honey. And most importantly, this is not a substitute for medical treatment when symptoms are severe. If you want a simple way to remember the process, think of it like this: chop, wait, mix. Chop the garlic, wait a few minutes to activate allicin, then mix it with honey. Sometimes, a small change in how you prepare food can make a meaningful biological difference. Now we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever tried combining garlic with honey? Or will this be your first time? Share your experience in the comments. Your insight may help others apply this approach more effectively. Thank you for watching. Stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.